insights. So this is something that I've already covered in the Words of Power program and also the Laws of Magic series, of which the 8th cycle is set to launch on March 22nd. For those looking to get in on that, you'll need to enroll before then. Now, if it's something that I've covered in 2 of my paid programs, you know it must be something fairly important. Furthermore, it's a safe bet that you're not going to hear this anywhere else. Because, well, quite frankly, there's not a whole lot of ceremonial magicians talking. And I can't find anybody talking about this. And what we're talking about is authority. Authority is just as important in our magical life as it is in our personal, social, and professional lives. In Hermeticism, we are the microcosm to the macrocosm. That is to say, as above, so below. And as the microcosm to the macrocosm, we have inherited certain properties. One of those being divine authority. We have been granted authority by the divine. Authority originally came from author of the writ, as in the written word. And perhaps now you can see why I covered this in the Words of Power program. To author the written word is to author the story. You've heard the phrase, so it shall be written, so it shall be done. It shall be done because of the authority. Whoever authors the story controls the outcome. What story should you be authoring? Your own. Now, before there's that one guy out there that starts writing an autobiography, authoring a book about yourself is not what I mean. I'm talking about authoring the story of your life as it's happening. And this is what magic is it not? Every time you cast for something, every time you banish something, you are willing change in the story of your life by way of divine authority. This is not what most people do. Most people resign themselves to whatever may come or defer themselves to the authority of others. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying to ignore the authority of others in society. We don't need someone getting pulled over, cop comes to the window, and then the person says, "I'm my own authority, bitch," and then speeds away. And you know that would happen too. We've already had a couple people allegedly X'd as a result of this channel. We don't need any more. So I want to make it clear that I'm not saying to ignore societal authority. I'm merely talking about the authority of authoring our own life story by the decisions that we make each and every day, by the magic that we cast, and by the divine authority granted unto us. Now, most of you are familiar with casting a circle of protection in which we perform our magic. Well, protection is not all the circle is for. The circle itself is a symbol of divine authority. And as we covered early on, much of magic depends upon the symbolism that we use. The circle and the sphere are the perfect shapes in nature. They have the most efficient use of space. In the scripture, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Now you can pick any point on that circle and it could be the beginning and the end of that circle. The circle itself is a symbol of authority. And this is why we cast magic from within the circle, from a place of divine authority. What do you think gives you the protection in the first place? It's not because you simply drew a line on the floor. No, it's because you're operating from a place of authority. You literally outrank anything that you may summon up. And it's that divine authority that allows you to summon and command these forces to begin with. Anyway, now in planetary terms, the magic circle corresponds with the planet Saturn. You can think of it as a ring of Saturn. Saturn is the highest planetary authority of the 7 traditional planets. There are other correspondences between the magic circle and Saturn. In order to create your magic circle, you have to trace a line or boundary Saturn rules boundaries. By doing so, you are creating your sacred space. Saturn rules time and space. And so there's much more to the magic circle than you may have previously thought. But the point I want to drive home in this video is that you are the supreme authority in your life. You are the author of the story. Now, where people can get into trouble is when they want to become the author of someone else's story by performing magic on others without their consent. That's when things can get a little dicey. You don't want to use your divine authority to be a dictator. Most other people have divine authority also, they just don't know it. They're kings who look in the mirror and see pawns. They think they're at the mercy of others or the government or the system. They do not yet know the things that they could accomplish by using magic, by using their divine authority and right. Those of us who are magical practitioners are exercising our divine authority to write our own scripts. And that's really all we're doing. Every success story is someone writing their own story. I've had a couple more come in recently. Hey Frater, in your last video, you mentioned people using this email to ask questions, which is funny to me because I've done it a few times. I don't know how else to contact you. I thought I'd give you some thanks for a change instead of questions. In the last 18 months, I've manifested the exact job I wanted, set my pay, a new home, a new RV at a ridiculously good rate, an incredible trade-in value on my old one, a brand new car, dozens of other goals I set, money pouring in from various sources, and become a whole new person. I've practiced for 7 years, but the last 18 months have been the most fruitful season I've ever experienced. I owe that in large part to your work. I've never owned anything brand new, and now everything I own is brand new. I'm currently writing a book on my personal path to success and have started a YouTube channel. I intend this year to finally step into my purpose, my passion for energy healing, counseling, and teaching spiritual truth. I'm being certified to do so very soon. Many blessings. So this is somebody who knows what he wants and how to go about getting it. Writing the story of his own life. Authority. And he's also writing a book on top of it. So kudos to you, my friend. Now here's a slightly different one. Greetings, Frater Xavier. I sincerely must thank you for your teachings and your years of hard work with so much passion and dedication. My girlfriend and I met through seemingly casual, or shall I say casual, but extremely synchronous way, and I truly believe it was because she confessed to using your Spells of Love and Loss program together with your sigil magic teachings and hardcore mental work. Seriously, there's no other explanation. The probability of two weirdos like us meeting on a bus and the bus breaking down in the middle of a city-wide traffic jam so that we could chat longer without the use of online dating was next to none, but we did, and it clicked like pieces from a puzzle since that day. I believe we are a perfect match. I would buy you a beer, but I have no idea how to ship it to you from the Dominican Republic. And so his girlfriend wanted to write a new love interest into her life, cast for it using her divine authority to do so, and now her boyfriend is writing me, thanking me for it. I certainly receive a lot of crazy stories, and they all come from people just like you who have a desire to make sweeping changes in their life. So the next time you step inside the circle, take on that divine authority. Sense it, feel it, express it, and you also will begin to make sweeping changes in your life. Authority is one of the laws of magic. And if you liked and feel you've benefited from this video, there are 49 other laws of magic that you should be adhering to in order to have a successful magical practice. That's what the Laws of Magic series is, covering the do's and the don'ts, and some other things that other people aren't talking about either. The course is set to launch on March 22nd. You'll want to enroll to reserve your spot in the course before then, for it is not scheduled to be made available again until October. Link is in the video and in the description. Also, if you enjoyed this video, consider joining us on Patreon, where the next video's already up. Unless you're already watching on Patreon, then it may not be. But if you're watching on YouTube, it's definitely already up and ready to view. Every Patreon supporter gets early access to the next Mystery School video. Also consider following me on Twitter at Frater Xavier, where I give the occasional tweet and some programs away for free at times. And I think that will about do it. I'd like to take the time to thank everyone for listening, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.